been playing Fashion Dreamer non-stop. Probably one of the only games I can play at this moment, and I have been loving it a lot. So I wanted to give a few tips for starting out Fashion Dreamer, some things to help you to get the most joy out of your gameplay. Before I get started, my name is Delaney. Welcome to my channel. I love talking about video games, and I've been doing live streams weekly, so check those out. And if you want to stay and hang out, like and subscribe. So let's get started. Yeah, so Fashion Dreamer, when you first start out in the game, it can be a little bit overwhelming because you're not sure what you're supposed to do other than liking the looks and, you know, dressing NPCs. After like the first few quests, it doesn't really give you any quests after that, and it kind of turns more into like a sandbox type of gameplay. These are some tips that I feel like helped me when I was just exploring and trying to figure out what else I wanted to do in the game. A number one tip though, because it doesn't tell you in game, is for unlocking hubs. You have to reach a certain amount of followers to unlock different hubs after the first one of Cocoon Hope. So the tiers for that officially is 500 to unlock the first one, which would be Cocoon Act, and then the next hub to be unlocked is 3,000 followers. The very last one would be at 10,000 followers. So that's like your set goals if you're not sure about how many followers you should be getting at certain points in time. But that brings me to my next tip, which would be, how do I get these follower points? What is the best way to go about raising your ranking level when it comes to follower count? Yeah, so firstly, styling NPCs is what the game introduces you to. But what gives you even more or double the points is taking a picture with the NPC after you've dressed them. And then another way of getting a little bit more points is press down the right Joy-Con. It gives you e-points. It gets pinned to the top of vlog, and it gives you more e-points. So that is another way to get a little bit more follower counts and also more e-points. Other than getting follower counts, the other points that is revered in Fashion Dreamer are e-points. So you use e-points for a variety of things in game. You can use it to create different items for your brand specifically, and also to purchase items in the showroom mode, where you're able to add that into your showroom, like the different furniture items. It may seem like it's hard to get e-points, but one of the best ways to get e-points would be either from the bingo machine, the hard bingo machine, which so it's the best to like collect a lot of bingo tickets for that. Another way is to, once you create an item, you go into your item box and you press right click down on the Joy-Con to make it a hot pick item. So the hot pick item becomes something that is available online, where you get a lot of likes from people online, and I've gotten so many points. I've actually gotten like over 3 million points just by doing one hot pick item and just changing the color story, maybe like change a t-shirt or something like that. And you would get some of the items where you're able to customize by going to the gacha machines around the world. So you get gacha tickets from helping NPCs, and then you take those gacha tickets to get some maybe rare items or just items that you're able to customize from specific machines in each hub world, and they also are different depending on which world you're in. Another tip also is that you also are able to up your following count by changing your showroom a lot. So I suggest that to up your follower count, you change your showroom around every so often, just so you're able to up your follower count. If it could be just adding more, like changing the clothes out, or just like adding new items, and when you keep that open, you have a lot of people coming to visit your showroom through the showroom stream, and that also ups your e-points and gives you more followers. So another thing that I didn't realize, in the game there are rare items that you can collect, either through going to the hub world and finding things that are like the lucky color of the day, or even just like the hot items of the day. And the way to know which items are rare is that there are these little blue stars next to each item with a number in it. The higher the number, more rare that item is. The high number for a rare item is number 10. You can see if you've already collected any rare items by going into your item box, and then you can sort by pressing down on ZL, and it lets you choose between most recent rare brand items. You can categorize it, and that can show you what your most rare item is. It also works the same when you're dressing NPCs and you're trying to look up what the most rare item you have is. That brings us to my next tip. I would say online mode is the best way to play. Solo mode is fun, but I feel like the game really thrives in online mode. I do also want to make sure that everyone everyone knows, you do not need to have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription to be able to access online mode. It is built into the game and it is separate from Nintendo Online, which I think is just great because it is where the game thrives the most. On online mode, you're able to do look at requests for people that you follow or even just people you find throughout that are real life players of Fashion Dreamer, and through doing these look its, you also are able to give extra e-points. Also brings me to another point, which is, and you go up to actual real players who you are creating look its for, you can also go into the My World tab to see everyone that you've been creating look its for, and you can also follow them. Maybe you can follow them based off the style that you feel like they have that's similar to yours. You can also send them requests and they can make you more look its and give you more items. My very last tip is to raise your brand level. You're able to see your brand level when you go into the My World tab, and you can look at your creator ID and it shows you just like how much recognition your brand has gotten. It also shows you your brand level, and the brand level is very important because that is the way you're able to access new items in your showroom to be able to furnish it, and it's all locked behind brand levels. So the best way to raise your brand level is by collecting the items from the gacha, and if you don't have any gacha tickets, you can also unlock the items through creative keys that you can receive from NPCs, and also when you raise up to each influencer level, when you unlock a hub. So that is the best way to be able to like up your brand level, just making sure you're going into that item creator tab, making as many items as you can. Another way to up your creativity when it comes to creating your own items, I know it is just by color scheme, but even just changing the color does give it its own unique edge to it. And I think that by maybe coming up with a mood board, coming up with an aesthetic that you have in mind for your collection and the color story, that will help. So I suggest like thinking about a color story and keeping that in mind, a color story and an aesthetic that you want for your collection, your brand to be. Those are all the tips I have so far for Fashion Dreamer. I feel like once I unlock more things, I have more things to help you guys with the gameplay. The gameplay of Fashion Dreamer is so sandbox that it's like you can kind of play it in any way you want. So I hope these tips help for anyone who's getting into Fashion Dreamer, is trying to figure out what else they want to do to get more gameplay out of it. I've been enjoying it so far. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Fashion Dreamer. Did any of these tips help you, or these things that you didn't know? Let me know down in the comments, and I hope all of you guys are doing well as always. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.